CEO posted crying selfie after layoffs to show execs are normal people too. I was surfing the internet and this kept popping up on my timeline and I had to find out what was this all about. And the CEO of Hypersocial, which specializes in services like optimizing LinkedIn posts, how convenient, faced criticism for making the layoffs about himself, but said he simply wanted to share his journey. Now, this is the original picture. You're gonna see here, this is the full picture that he posted. It's straight to his face and he's obviously crying. Maybe his eyes are a bit red and there's like a tear in there. But the problem is what he posted and how he did it. We're gonna read the original post because that will be important later on. This will be the most vulnerable thing I'll ever share. I've gone back and forth whether to post this or not. And notice this, we just had to lay off a few of our employees. He's talking about I, and then he suddenly switches to we when he's talking about the layoff. So he wants to dilute that responsibility. I've seen a lot of layoffs over the last few weeks on LinkedIn. Most of those are due to the economy or whatever other reason. Ours, my fault. I made a decision in February and stuck with that decision for far too long. Now, I know my team will say that we made that decision together, but I led us into it. And because of those failings, I had to do today the toughest thing I ever had to do. Notice that when it's time to connect the layoffs to his own actions, he speaks in vague terms. We've always been a people-first business, and we always be. Days like today, I wish I was a business owner that was only money-driven and didn't care about who he hurt along the way. But I am not. So I just want people to see that not every CEO out there is cold-hearted and doesn't care when she have to lay people off. I'm sure there are hundreds and thousands of others like me. The ones you don't see talk about because they didn't lay off 50 or 500 or 5,000 employees. They laid off 1 or 2 or 3. 1 or 2 or 3 that would still be here if better decision had been made. I know it isn't professional to tell my employees that I love them, but from the bottom of my heart, I hope they know how much I do. Every single one, every single story, every single thing that makes them smile and every single thing that makes them cry. Their families, their friends, their hobbies. I've always hired people based on who they are as people. People with great hearts and great souls. And I can't think of a lower moment than this. And yeah, the picture. Well, you could see for yourself that at no point of the original post he mentions or even suggests who are these people that he laid off. They were not named or tagged or anything. Of course, there was a shortage of people siding with him. I don't understand why Braden Wallach is receiving so much hate for being candid. I'm still trying to figure out why this post is so controversial. Is it because he included an image of himself with tears running down his face? Well, it is. He is showing great leadership. At least he's trying to be proactive by taking ownership of the situation and helping out his former employees. Now this is important. As this comment, there are many comments that say, oh, he's helping out the former employees. He's helping out to find another job. But it's so suspicious that the original post was published on August 9, and he finally was able to talk with the laid off employee on August 11. Like, why take 48 hours for this? Why didn't you talk to them in the first place before making the original post and plugging them in the original post directly? Oh, he claims that he was waiting for approval, such as in this interaction on LinkedIn. There we go, better late than never, and he answers, had to wait for Noah's permission. Better late than never indeed. Well, not all of those interactions went like this, because Angela Barnard said, glad to see you took my advice, and he answers in a rather rough way, I didn't take your advice, let's be clear. I'm not making this up. And no, this was not a good idea. This is one of those posts that must have felt like a good idea at 2 a.m., but should never have seen the light of day. Even if the intentions were good, what kind of intentions? It comes off as incredibly manipulative, especially with a crying selfie. I feel like in the race to drive views like comments, LinkedIn posts are becoming increasingly out of touch with the original purpose of the site, which is to build a professional network and share valuable professional advice. And yes, a lot of people noticed that he published the conversation with the laid off employee after the backlash happened. Make this a post, Braden. Make each person a post at the very least. Only after being called out on LinkedIn. So, you made a post a while ago about how devastated you were about laying off your employees and how they were like family, but it's only till now that you're finally able to have a conversation with the employees you laid off? After all the backlash on your original post? Makes you wonder. Now, the one that explains it the best was Richard Suk. If you really cared about your employees as much as you claim and felt guilty about making a bad call that caused them to lose their jobs, you don't a post like this first. Heck, you could have reached out to people you know in other industries and say, hey, I screwed up and have to let people go. Do you have any open positions? Before even firing them. Instead, we got your, oh, it's me post that makes you look like a complete narcissist feigning empathy. Well, you know how they say, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, yeah. This is what failure in leadership looks like, and when someone is trying to appear sympathetic but come off as disingenuous and fake. I don't know about you, but right off the bat, I will have my suspicions about someone that puts 5x college dropout on his LinkedIn bio like a Medal of Honor. That's weird. That's why I made you read the original post at first, because that's how you can tell there was no reference and he was not intending any reference to his laid off employees at all. It was all about himself. And I'm not saying that you cannot show emotions or being vulnerable, but the fact is that actions speak louder than words. And before this happened, before all this message was crafted to go viral on LinkedIn, he should have done the right thing and include the employees on the original post, or even better, find them a position before getting fired. These are the tools of narcissists that they use to make you think that they wish you well when they actually don't. Because remember, actions are more important than words, and yes, more important than pathetic LinkedIn or Instagram or TikTok posts. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas, the body language guy, and until we meet in another video or another live, take care, love you all, much love and peace.